Hello everyone and welcome to Two Old Goats Farm. Today I want to talk about my case of strawberries and what I did with my strawberries. If you saw some of my stories, you would know that I did go to a U-Pick farm earlier in the season, picked about 24 pounds of strawberries, and most of those turned into fruit roll-ups. I got a dehydrator this year from Denali Canning, and practicing, different things you can do, but I was really happy with the fruit roll-ups. Pretty legit as far as taste and flavor, with minus the byproducts that are usually found in your store-bought products. So that was the mindset, or the reason why I did it. So I just have strawberries, lemon juice, and sugar, a little bit of sugar in these, dehydrated them and rolled them up and cut them. In the refrigerator, these will stay for 6 months, freezer for up to a year. So I have a whole bunch of them that I didn't cut up into sections in the freezer, and waiting for the grandchildren to come over so I can share that with them. It feels good to be able to give them something like that, and I've grabbed a couple too whenever I wanted something sweet. It's in the refrigerator, so it's a good grab and go snack that I did. So now I go to the market, and the blueberries are coming out, and going to one of my favorite vendors. I was in a dilemma whether to get blueberries or strawberries. I really didn't have time to process both, and she said that this was the last weekend that the market was going to have strawberries. So I kind of panicked. There was a case that was a really decent price. I don't know if you've been to any markets, but the price this year for a quart was up to $8, which was relatively high. I did ask if there were any jam boxes as the week progressed. Last year I got a jam case for $20, $25 I think, which was great. They weren't the best looking strawberries. You'd get something once in a while that looked like my friend here, but it was a strawberry and it did what I needed it to do. So they weren't offering that this year. The crop was really good, and this case happened to be the cheapest that I've seen. So I did grab the case and brought it home, and was very busy over the weekends trying to get the garden switched over from spring to summer. And so now that left me yesterday, so I was pretty busy yesterday. The first thing I did was look at my case. The case was on more the end side, more as far as the freshness of the berries and such, because I had it in the refrigerator for the weekend. So the first thing that I did with it was, after washing them and everything, was I made strawberry lemonade concentrate. Now this is a simple process of just cutting up the berries, putting it in a blender till smooth, adding some sugar and lemon juice to it, bringing it to right before the boiling point. It was 190 degrees Celsius, and then water bath canning. So water bath canning, if you're going to start canning, I would suggest starting with that just to get comfortable with the process. But this is a 3-to-1, so it's 1 thing of concentrate to 3 pints of water. And I'll put this out when the family's over. I like to make it in a pitcher, offer maybe Tito's on the side. It makes a nice summer cocktail as well. And I have enough now for some friends if they come along and ask for it. But it has been a family favorite, so I did my strawberry lemonade concentrate. The second thing is I kind of went into a direction of firsts. So the first thing I did was make a strawberry kvass. Now this is about 1.5 cups of strawberries cut up in a quart jar with some filtered water and 1 tablespoon of raw honey. So we're kind of going down that direction of mead, but not using any kind of champagne yeast. We're going to use the wild yeast that I have in the house. So because I've been doing fermentations and sourdough, I do have a lot of wild yeast in the house, which is a good thing. It's a good healthy thing to have. And I just have to take these every day and open up the lid. It smells really good right now, still sweet, so that means that the wild yeast is still working on eating all of the honey and the sugars from the fruit. For about a week, I'll let this do its magic. It's already turning a really pretty color, and then I'll strain it and put it into swing top bottles where it will carbonate. So it's almost like a kombucha. And again, a nice, refreshing summertime drink, antioxidants, all the good things that come out of the fruit. The other thing I did was I dehydrated some strawberry slices that were big that I liked. So this is my, I have a jar downstairs. I'll keep this upstairs every day. I'll give it a shake. Make sure it didn't go too stiff on the dehydration. I went to a leathery consistency. Dehydration, you want to make sure that you have all of the moisture out. So I want to keep an eye on these to make sure that I don't have any kind of molds. If anybody had a little moisture on it. And once I feel that, you know, it's good to go and safe, I'll go put that down in the basement. And again, this can be tossed on salads, in your oatmeal, in a smoothie, whatever you want. It's just a different way to store your fruits. I don't have room in the freezer right now with all of the other things that I have going on, so this was just a way to be able to preserve them. And then finally, the one I'm really excited about, is this monster here. I actually have two of these going, but we're going to attempt to make a vinegar. I don't know how many of you may have the Magnolia channel, but there is a really good show that you can watch on there, catch on there, or if you have Discovery Plus, you can watch it, called The Source. So I want to just hang out with Katie Button, but she has a show on vinegars. So ever since then, I've kind of been intrigued on it and want to give it a shot myself. So instead of coring the strawberries, so that would just be taking the strawberry and a little tool like so, and getting just that green part out that you don't want to use. I was able to cut just the tops of my strawberries, but I didn't want to waste that. So what I did was I put all of that, I filled this gallon mason jar up halfway with the scraps, maybe a berry that was a little too soft, a little, you know, almost on its way out, and all of the tops. Filled that with filtered water and a little bit of sugar, and this is going to be a process. Right now, the first 2 weeks, I'm just going to have a cloth over it. Going to give it a stir, make sure that the mother that forms over, if anybody's brewed kombucha, it's almost like a Scooby, but it's not, or a SCOBY. But I'm going to just make sure that it gets as much oxygen and aeration as it needs to do its magic. And then at some point I'll be straining this and capping it permanently, keeping it down in the basement. It could take up to 4 months. It'll depend on the flavor that I'm looking for, the taste that I'm looking for. But this will be a nice strawberry vinaigrette that you could use on salads, all kinds of things. So even desserts, there's some really good desserts with vinegars. So keeping it store for that. But that was what I did with my case of strawberries. I have still probably 8 cups of sliced strawberries. I'm going to probably make them into baking oatmeal with almond milk and fresh fruit. So that's been a staple as far as meal prep, and real simple to do. So if you have any questions about anything that I went over, just give me a holler and I'll try to answer them, and I hope everybody's doing well. Take care.